That's not what this
pretend
is
we're
about.
recording. We'll have lots of fun pretending that we're recording. And this is The Music Man on VHS.
Hear that, everybody? The Music Man on VHS.
From Warner Home Video.
Start your VHS disc now.
Sync up your, VHS disc. I was just thinking, if you had no idea what was going on, or that this was a musical, and then just suddenly this is happening, you'd be like, what?
Yeah.
Why are these guys all
like why
talking
are
in
these guys
rhythm?
rhythmically?
What do you talk? Thimble rigger? What does that mean?
Wow. Neck-bowed Hawkeyes?
I know, he just insults everyone.
Troll face.
He timed that perfectly, like, as the train is leaving the station.
Why is everyone following him around, too?
So they can sing this song that they all have been practicing all summer.
Creepy.
We do. Well, he just said Iowa. We say it now and then, but we don't like anybody else to.
This is like the N-word. Like, we're allowed to
This is
say
a
it,
whole
but you're
meme,
not
this
allowed
whole
to say it.
thing, yeah.
You folks certainly do know how to make a body feel at home.
They wanted this entire thing to happen.
This town. You think he's the shark, but really this town.
They prepped for a salesman just like him the whole time.
They're drawing him in like,
He's like,
we're ripe for the picking,
square.
mister.
Yeah.
Because they get more out of him than he gets out of them in the end.
They've done this
It's
to
the
multiple.
town is really the antagonist in this.
They've done this to multiple salesmen over the years.
They end up with new industry and factories and things here and there because of certain salesmen who just marry in and they just kind of fold them into the fold.
Yeah.
They just replace the librarian after she gets married every time.
Gregory. Guy's like, I'm just trying to sell my peaches here, mister.
I'm just trying to restock, mister. Once you start singing, they all follow.
I was gonna say, they don't ever have anything going on, so they're like, what is this guy?
Or I forgot, it's part of the town's ploy too.
They're all like, oh, what?
What's this about salesman? Trouble? Oh.
That'd be hilarious. The whole time he thinks he's drifting everyone, and they're just like, oh my.
Oh, it's terrible, yes. So much trouble.
Why should he get so mad at people just because he missed? Well, that's just part of it. What's the rest of it? Never
Well, when he was 3, there was it's like this whole dark story. She's like, we're just not gonna go into that.
No, little girl, no, I will not.
What did the card actually say? The fact that he's saying, like, we'll make a spectacle of my wife.
What kind of a name is McKechnie?
Oh, and here's our
Cultural appropriation?
here's our racist presentation for the day. That kid with a live firearm, like, trying to
that's
hold
great.
it,
That's
flagging
great,
the entire
yeah.
crowd.
That is just great. Get it up there,
No,
kid.
aim it at the Indians.
at
That's
me.
what we do. Tommy Giles. It's like this whole thing's a farce. Is this part of the play? Is this part of
them?
the celebrations? It's like the yearly, like,
Staging
troublemaker.
of the troublemaker.
Yeah.
There's certain characters that have to act out their part. Kind of like Cabin in the Woods.
Well, it's like in Germany and places, they have all these, like, weird characters.
No, this is like Cabin in the Woods. The whole town has to draw in each salesman and sacrifice them at the end for their right to keep living and doing whatever.
These fireworks make the last days of Pompeii.
Pompeii.
Will take place at 9:30, providing it isn't raining.
Why would you base your 4th of July fireworks on the last days of Pompeii? Now that you're all in a fervor.
You're whipped up in a frenzy.
Oh no, you could totally remake this with him as like Stalin or somebody or whatever.
Oh yeah, Totally.
Gets everybody worked up on a
Totally.
problem that doesn't exist, and then,
And then-
he's like the Marxist that comes in. Oh, that would be so good.
Oh, that would be good. Tongue-in-cheek music, man.
Because that's kind of the whole premise of the show is like, you know, he comes in,
We
stirs up
could
trouble
write
where
it.
there
We
was
could
none.
write it. It'd be easy.
He's even wearing the red jacket and everything.
Yeah, he couldn't do
Well,
this
that was
nowadays.
And everybody like, wait a minute, let's check Wikipedia.
Well, no, there would just be no way. They'd be like, "Who's that crazy guy dancing around out in the street?"
He's trying these methods in like
People would be like,
2020.
yeah. People would be like filming him with cell phones from behind shutters, like, "What's going on? This guy's out here dancing around."
He's trying to stir up people, and there's like nobody cares.
He's like,
you know?
"There's trouble! I'm telling you, there's trouble!" He just looks like one of the other homeless bums.
He's just ranting on the corner. He's like, it's not working.
There's a guy with a cardboard sign who's like, "Yeah, man, you're probably making lots of money."
It's not working.
They're like, "Let's just make spontaneous flash parades and stuff."
Yeah. So much energy.
Until they invent the internet.
I know that maybe that's what all of these kind of things are saying. It's like this is what life is like before the internet. People running around doing craziness, and marching in the streets of like
That's the real message of this. It's like, what?
Don't you contradict me.
We just walking together. Great hon.
You watch your phraseology. You was with my little racing senior. Now you stay away from my oldest girl or you'll hear from me till who laid the rails. Yeah?
What?
what?
What did he say?
He just said stuff.
Who laid
Wait a
rails?
minute. Was this the last salesman that came into town and he ended up as the mayor? He just like makes stuff up off his cuff.
Oh, you know this kid. Probably got his
He's so good. You're like, yeah, he wandered in 50 years ago.
Tommy, I want to talk.
He just stops him and is like, "I'll just stop your your routine right there." It's enough.
Paperwork? No, we're gonna sing.
He's double-crossing them. He figured out what they're doing, and he's making them look like stooges now by making them sing and harmonize.
Then you accept.
Yes, indeed. And I'd like
That's actually this whole. Wait a minute. This whole play is just like a study on how to control a town because it's like every time somebody has questions, you give them a position of power, and then they're like, "Oh well, never mind all that about your qualifications because now I'm somebody," and then they
like,
get
no,
to
I'm
run
giving you a
something.
bunch of, yeah.
I like his spats. Let's just sing at each other for a while here in the street.
It's very weird. It's like he left NPCs going against each other. Until they finish their thing, and then they all just stand there in
And they
awkward
just like,
silence.
forget what they were doing and then just meander about their day. He's like, all right, that routine that we practiced earlier, and now's the time.
They all bought like brilliantly colored spats just for this number.
It's the only way they can express themselves is the spats.
Pre-internet bliss right there.
That would be hilarious if you mapped like pre-internet days and like before we knew. Maybe this whole thing isn't that he has any magic powers. Maybe he just gives them all drugs. Like that explains everything. Like the people following him in the city, like all the kids in the library, like everything. He just kind
Oh,
of
and then he just pipes music in via Bluetooth or something.
Town that knew me well.
oh, this song's another. Oh man. Like every one of these songs is like that. It's like ways of controlling the population. This song, he just says Gary, Indiana over and over and over again, and convinces people just
You're right.
by repetition that like, yeah, that sounds great, Gary, Indiana. Yeah, Gary, Indiana.
You know, Gary, Indiana. Gary, Indiana. Gary, Indiana. Gary, Indiana. Do a little dance, a little flim-flammery, and he just sold you on Gary, Indiana, a place that never existed.
Never exists.
That wouldn't go on to be founded until 12 years after this. by this very man. No.
The mom's just sitting there like, are you done yet?
You didn't do this much for the last salesman.
It's like, can you get on with it?
I don't know. That was sarcasm. These people are all being
Just like, I
sarcastic.
wish I knew.
These people are all singing sarcastically.
Wells Fargo wagon.
What? Who's that?
Later.
Oh. No, this is just Joe Biden's great-great-grandfather.
That's what I was thinking this whole time. It's like, he is Joe Biden. And this is the moment when the entire thing turns, because she has the potential to show that he's a fraud, and she decides it's better to keep the lie than to, because my brother is so happy, than to reveal the truth to the entire town that you've been duped.
Yeah.
And this is why Hitler rose to power, is because someone somewhere was like, you know what? It's worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Orange
It's
free.
on the side. But which one to switch?
Just go along with this guy's idea of a band until we
Just play along.
just pretend to play it, Jimmy.
I'm going to tell you something the great Giuseppe Creatore said to me once under like circumstances. Professor Hill.
The kid's like, I have no idea what you're saying, but how do I help you?
Hold on. Cherish it. Don't let anybody else
This is
play around
professional
with
levels of,
not even
extreme levels of flimflammery.
All right. None of that now. We don't do songs. He's like, that's like our crack.
But you got me.
Once he brings out the music, and they just like have to sing it.
I guess it's so weird.
They look over at him as they're singing the song. They're like, why have you done this to us again?
Like, no, you know we have to. Yeah, like. Oh, man. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know the implications of that, buddy. You may be from out of town here, but. Now they're playing into this kid's delusions.
They're hoping he becomes the next truest salesman.
They're trying. Yeah, that's what it is. Oh man! Birth of a salesman. Could rig some thimbles to you, girlie.
What does that even mean?
Name's Charlie Cow.
I don't know. I don't know. Uh-oh. I feel the musical number going on.
Yeah, right. Everybody's arranging themselves in groups and stuff.
There's a lot of brilliant colors, and they all match and stuff. Yeah.
And the soundtrack just changed. Like, you can always tell when like the voice quality changes. They're like, wait a minute, this is part of a musical number, isn't it?
It's spontaneous.
I know, that's a lot of this. I feel like that kid just has like, what is that? Attention deficit disorder. And they're just like, this is what makes him happy, is
And the rest of them
moving,
just follow, yeah. Like,
gyrating and moving around. And
this is what makes him happy, yeah, like... This is as our leader of our gang or whatever. I will be the truth salesman!
He's putting the shake on you. He's taking out your eye teeth.
This is Alex Jones.
He's turning the frogs gay!
Yeah.
Why?
Dude, that's Joe Biden. This is Alex Jones.
It's perfect! It's perfect! Oh man.
Alright.
Harold Hill. No, I never heard it.
Yeah, actually, no, now that I'm thinking of it, I kind of hate this movie. Because he's like, I always,
Oh, it does have bad messages. It like
all
it
of this,
rewards his whatever.
exactly.
His
All of this
flammery.
is just to make you feel bad for the fact that he just screwed over that town on top of
Yeah.
however many hundreds of towns.
He
Justice, justice was not served whatsoever to this guy.
The
Yeah,
music,
wait,
the music becomes better than before.
Those are the uniforms that they paid for. Like, that wasn't good enough.
Yeah, I guess that wasn't. Yeah, that's right. They paid for it. Like what?
Again, this is the weird thing about musicals. That is this reality? Is
Where
this happening in
yeah.
someone's mind? I don't know. Is this like years later once the dream is realized? Like,
They all keep like, propping up this madman.
year after
Pure
year.
salesman. The whole town is one way or another. No matter how you slice it, this whole town is buying whatever he's got to sell. Like it's just it's funny.
It became a
Band.
music town.
It's not just about like forget about academics. It's band.
That's what was cool in that town now, is being in the band.
Yeah, it's both cool and the right thing to do and all.
The right thing to do. Join the band. It's the right thing to do.
Which goes back to and he's got everybody. Young Stalin. Oh man.
Stalin.
Had won the country folk to his comrades. Oh man.
That actually would be a really great parody if you did end it that way too, of like the early promise of communism and Marxism,
man.
where it's like everything seems like it's going to be okay, and you just left it right there. So it's like you would need to be conscious and aware of the fact that it never works, because then you'd catch all those people who are like, yeah, Marxism isn't that bad. See,